Today I decided to make feijoada, Americanized version of feijoada. So my wife and my kids really love this meal, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Everything you see here is what you need except rice. This is going to be a tomato-based topping that you can put on rice or you can put on top of macaroni. We're going to do it on top of macaroni tonight. So the first thing you need is an onion, which I don't have an onion. But if you had an onion, first you cut up an onion and you saute it in a skillet over the stove. The next thing you do, once the onions have gotten to where they're translucent, is you go ahead and cut up bell peppers. Now I like to get red and yellow and green bell peppers, but today I only do green because they're cheaper and it's going to make it look nice. We typically have a red sauce, as you're going to find out. Tomato sauce here, and the green, so it kind of gives a nice color to your meal. The other thing is we have this tomato sauce, and we have black beans, we have brown sugar, and garlic. And then we have Polish sausage over here. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to get it all together. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is take your peppers, bell peppers, what I like to do is take out all the seeds. And you probably have some better way of cutting this up. This is how I do it. Next thing, of course you're washing your veggies, I hope, before you start cutting them up. And you go ahead and cut them. I cut them lengthwise. So once I got them all like that, kind of like a fajita cut, I'm going to be cutting them this way, basically to make them bite-sized pieces, or like a fifth of a bite-sized piece. Making it very small. And what this does is this is going to provide a crunch to what you're cooking. So this is all the preparation. You can make your onions translucent by cooking them first. After you make your onions translucent, you're actually going to be putting in the sausage next to it. Brown it, kind of get some of the oils out of the meat to flavor up the bell pepper. So that's how I cut the bell pepper. We're going to put that in a bowl. Alright, so I just opened up the sausage. I usually get Polish sausage, but this is, Polska kielbasa. So that's trash. So I typically do this is I'll cut this loop in half, and I'll cut this in half. Alright, so once that's cut lengthwise, it'll be very similar to the bell pepper. I'll make it into bite-sized pieces, do like a half round. And because I'm not cooking with onions, I'll take all this and I'll toss it in there first and I'll brown it. I'll brown the meat, get the juices out, and then once I feel like it's cooked enough, it's kind of gotten some of this, it's a little bit more pinkish, a little bit more brown, then I'll go ahead and toss in the bell peppers. And the juices of the bell peppers will start to come out, but I try to stop just in time so the bell peppers still have a little bit of crunch, but a little bit of cook taste to them. So once you finish cutting them, see I got them in like a semicircle or half circle. It's easy to bite. Go ahead and toss those in the skillet. Got one more, so I'm going to make a lot. I got a big family. The next thing we're going to do is put it on the fire. I'll probably have it about like a 5 or 6 on my electric stove. But if I were to cook it on a gas skillet, I'd probably have it about a little bit higher than medium, a little bit higher than the mid-level. Take all this meat here. My daughter got me a bowl. So I go ahead and take the bell pepper. I'm going to cut up all of this bell pepper. Everything you see here is going to make enough for probably about 10 people to eat. Because I got a lot. We're planning on having leftovers. However, this is really good. So sometimes you eat more than you should. And I just ranked. Alright. So just load that up in the bowl. That way it's ready whenever we're cooking to just toss it in. And then here in a second, I'll probably show you how I cook it. Another cool thing about cutting up the bell pepper like this is that you can freeze it like this. So you can buy your bell peppers when they're cheap. You can cut them up to prepare for feijoada, and just put them in a freezer Zip-loc, and you can freeze these for a couple months. I've done it a couple times where I've frozen them for months and pulled them out when I was ready, and they'll save you some time later on. So if I knew I wasn't going to be cooking this for a while, or preparing it for a while, I could actually cut up a bunch of these, a bunch of Zip-loc baggies, and you might go through a gallon-sized Zip-loc bag in making one of these meals. And that will help you save money.
Boom, boom, baby, boom.
I'm going to go ahead and, while I'm starting that cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start putting the tomato sauce in here. Tomato sauce and black beans. Now I got black beans that are no salt added because there's plenty of sodium in everything that I'm putting in here. So I need to add another 200 or 500 milligrams. I might as well just keep it as little as possible. I usually try to do the same thing with tomatoes and same thing with my sausage, but I don't always get the low sodium. So, but I try. So while that's cooking, what I do now is I'm going to drain these black beans. So this is how I drain my beans. There you go, real simple. Gets the job done. This prevents the sauce from turning into a really brownish, but it keeps it red. If you don't drain it, it gets really soupy. It's going to be soupy enough as it is. You'll see. Alright, so I've got the meat sizzling. You saw me put it at about 5.5. That was a little too high. So I've gone ahead and lowered it down to about 3.5. So a little bit lower than medium. If you take a look down here, you can see some of it's brown. See how that's brown, and some of this other is brown in there. So it's getting there. Now it's just about the time to put the bell peppers in. So I'm going to do that right now. It's going to add some moisture to it. You can see I got a lot of bell pepper in there and a lot of sausage in there. Okay, while that's sizzling up,
Yummy.
take this sauce. That was diced tomatoes. Here's the tomato sauce. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this second can of tomato sauce. I'm going to go straight with the beans. All of this is done by memory. I've done this so many times. And it's all made by a recipe that I learned when I was living in Portugal. It's kind of been adapted, which kind of made it up. And so this is about the American version of it, because really the Portuguese version of it requires Portuguese sausage, and I don't have Portuguese sausage. And my family's grown to love it with Polish sausage. Alright, so mix all that up. That's actually looks pretty good. About 4 cans of beans. And it's starting to smell really good. Alright, so that's looking really good. You can see the texture on that. See it's moist. Smells really good. You can see the sausage is sweating. And the bell pepper is starting to juice up as well. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And I turned down the stove down again to about number 3. Meanwhile, I've got my diced tomatoes, and my tomato sauce, and my black beans all together. Now the tomato sauce, that was a 15 ouncer, and my diced tomatoes is 28 ounces. Or for those in other places, it's 794 grams There you go. And what is this one? 425 grams. You get the picture. Alright, so that's going. I have not used this tomato sauce yet. I don't think I'm going to, because I think that is saucy enough. You can see down there, it looks like it's starting to boil, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and mix that some more. And this is just about done. I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to pour it right into there. Now, while this is going, I also want to get my water started to go for my noodles. Typically, you put this on rice, but we ran out of rice, so we're going to do noodles. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. And I'm going to go ahead and dump this into here. Now if you've done it right, you'll usually have a little bit of liquid in there too. And that's okay. I just started off too high a heat and it's electric and I'm just not used to it yet. On my gas stove, I'd have been no problem. Now we go ahead and mix this up. There we go. That's looking real good. Now, if I stop right here, can you get me and this in the shot at the same time?
Yeah.
If I stop right here, it's going to be really bland. It's going to taste good, but it's going to be bland. So what I do now is I add garlic and brown sugar. Alright, now as far as the garlic, it's kind of a, what I do is I dust the top. So the whole top is dusted. I don't know how much that is, but I dust the whole thing. I go ahead and mix that in. Now this is, the heat is still on. So I still have it probably about, let's see, I've got it at a 3 right now. It was just to a boil when I added everything together. Add some brown sugar. We got a sugar bear. This is what keeps it from drying out, supposedly. Don't know about that, but I'm going to take a handful of sugar, do the same thing. I'll do one more handful. I'm doing handfuls because I can break it up. Get it in there. And this will not quite caramelize the brown sugar, but it gets pretty close to it. And the sweetness of the brown sugar with kind of like the bitter of the garlic makes a really nice flavor. Okay, film this. Go ahead and turn that up a little bit. Turn it to a 4. Now, the only way to know if you got the right amount of brown sugar and the right amount of garlic is to taste it. And I'm the cook and nobody's going to see that I'm eating it. It's a little sweet, but you can't taste the garlic, which is good. The garlic just kind of balances the sugary flavor, but you get a little sweetness in there. And that's exactly where you want. You get sweet from the sugar, and you have the meat and the beans and the bell pepper all come together. But you want a little bit sweet on the sweet side. It's awesome. If you don't like sweet so much, just add a little bit more garlic. It'll take away a little bit of that sweetness. It is so good. And it smells good too. Just tasted it again. It tastes like it needs a little bit more sugar. So I'm going to add a little bit more sugar and a little bit more garlic, but more sugar than garlic for sure. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do a little garlic. I've been busy stirring it. And as you stir it, of course, the sugar is going to float around and the garlic's going to mix up too. So probably needs another handful of brown sugar. Why not? Let's do a little bit more. Alright, let's mix that up. You see I'm using my hands a lot for all this. It's imperative that you wash your hands before you start cooking. You don't want to get bacteria and bugs in the food. That's just gross. Here I'm talking about bacteria and I'm putting my mouth on the food.
That's going to be good. That's going to be really good. As you can see, I've done all this. My water's not even boiling yet. So hopefully we'll have the macaroni soon. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this boil off some of the liquid to make it thicker, a thicker sauce, if you will, almost like a chili. And once I've boiled off some of the water, then we'll go ahead and make the macaroni. We'll slap it on there, and I'll show you the end result. See you later. Alright, so there's my noodles. This is Feijoada, American style. Right on top. This works best with rice. I love Calrose rice with the Feijoada sauce on top, and it's so awesome. Good. Now it's your turn to make it. Is it good?
Yeah.
You still in Daddy's food?
Yeah.
So good, huh?